Ah, behold the tale of whispering shadows set in a secluded Victorian mansion where darkness and dread thrive. Our courageous protagonist, Amelia Harper, shall delve into the depths of the paranormal, driven by personal tragedy and an insatiable desire to unearth the mansion's secrets. But beware, Sebastian Blackwood, a malevolent spirit trapped within those decaying walls, seeks vengeance against all who dare disturb his eternal slumber. Brace yourself for a relentless battle where Amelia's life and sanity hang in the balance. Now, let's give voice to the chilling whispers that float through the rooms of the mansion. Through dialogue, we shall reveal. The moon hung like a luminescent sentinel in the starless sky, its pale glow casting eerie shadows across the gnarled branches of the ancient trees that guarded the forgotten Victorian mansion. Amelia Harper stood at the threshold, her heart pounding in anticipation, as if the mansion itself held its breath, waiting to ensnare her in its web of secrets and nightmares. Each step Amelia took echoed through the desolate halls, resonating with the weight of centuries past. The floorboards creaked beneath her feet, whispering their protest against the intrusion, while the musty scent of decay hung in the air like a macabre perfume. The mansion seemed to come alive, its time-worn walls exuding an otherworldly energy that sent a chill racing down Amelia's spine. As she ventured further into the heart of darkness, the dim light cast by her flickering flashlight revealed peeling wallpaper, cracked mirrors, and the remnants of forgotten lives. Shadows danced and writhed along the walls, their elusive forms hinting at the sinister forces that lurked just out of sight. The silence was punctuated by the occasional groan of ancient wood and the distant echo of a floorboard's protest. Amelia's senses heightened, attuned to every creak, every whisper of movement. The mansion seemed to play tricks on her, teasing her with fleeting glimpses of figures in the corner of her eye, only to vanish when she turned to face them. Whispers carried on the wind, voices from beyond the grave, as if the very walls whispered secrets they dared not reveal. The air grew heavy with the weight of forgotten memories, and Amelia found herself transfixed by a cracked portrait hanging in a dimly lit corridor. The stern face of a gentleman, frozen in time, watched her with piercing eyes that seemed to follow her every move. She averted her gaze, but the feeling of being watched lingered, leaving her with a sense of unease that clung to her like a shroud. As she pressed on, each room she entered told a different tale of despair and tragedy. The wallpaper peeled away, exposing the decaying walls beneath, while moth-eaten curtains swayed in a breeze that had no logical source. In the fractured mirror, she caught glimpses of her own reflection, distorted and marred by the tortured faces of those who had met their end within these walls. Time lost its meaning within the mansion's embrace, as minutes stretched into hours, and the boundaries between reality and nightmare blurred. Whispers grew louder, carrying fragmented conversations that echoed through the corridors, their words laden with pain and sorrow. Amelia strained to decipher their meaning, hoping to uncover the truth that lay hidden beneath layers of darkness. Amidst the encroaching shadows, doubt gnawed at the edges of her mind, testing her resolve. But Amelia refused to succumb to fear. She was drawn to this place for a reason, connected to the spirits that dwelled within by an unspoken bond. They shared a common torment, a haunting that transcended time and space. As she continued her relentless exploration, Amelia vowed to confront the horrors that awaited her. The mansion may have been a house of nightmares, but she was determined to unearth its darkest secrets. With each step she took, she descended further into the abyss, her heart aflame with a defiant spark that refused to be extinguished. The truth awaited her, and she would not rest until it was laid bare before her. Chapter 2: Whispers in the Shadows. As Amelia delved deeper into the serpentine corridors of the haunted mansion, a suffocating stillness clung to the air. The ancient floorboards groaned beneath her every footfall, their protestations a haunting melody that echoed through the dimly lit expanse. The flickering candlelight cast eerie, dancing shadows upon the cracked wallpaper, breathing life into faded portraits that seemed to observe her with unblinking eyes. Her senses heightened, every nerve tingling with a primal awareness of unseen malevolence. The mansion exuded a palpable presence, an otherworldly force that whispered secrets long forgotten. The fragmented whispers tantalized her, teasing her curiosity with their cryptic phrases that danced upon the edge of comprehension. Amelia's fingertips traced the decaying wallpaper, feeling the imprint of forgotten lives seep into her very being. The ethereal whispers grew more insistent, their voices mingling with the faint rustling of ancient papers, revealing fragments of a tormented past. The mansion yearned to unburden itself, its anguished history begging for release. A shiver coursed through her as Amelia approached a massive oak door, its weathered surface bearing the scars of time. The doorknob, icy to the touch, resisted her tentative grasp, as if warning her of the darkness that lay beyond. Undeterred, she pushed open the door, revealing a room swallowed by inky blackness. The room seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly chill, an icy breath that caressed her cheek. Shadows danced and writhed like phantoms, morphing into grotesque shapes upon the peeling wallpaper. The floor beneath her feet shifted and groaned, a disconcerting reminder that she was a trespasser in this realm of shadows. Amelia's breath hitched as her gaze settled upon an ancient writing desk, its surface coated in a thick layer of dust. A compulsion surged within her, urging her to record the mansion's secrets on the brittle parchment before her. She hesitated, feeling the weight of the room's history pressing down upon her, but her curiosity overcame her trepidation. With a steady hand, she dipped the quill into the inkwell, its inky depths reflecting the intensity of her resolve. Words spilled forth, forming a tapestry of despair, betrayal, and unrequited longing. The mansion's story unfurled before her eyes, each stroke of the quill unearthing another layer of its tortured existence. But as Amelia neared the conclusion of her chronicle, the room seemed to shift, as if angered by the revelation of its darkest secrets. The shadows twisted and writhed, converging upon her with an insidious hunger. Fear threatened to consume her, but she refused to yield to the encroaching darkness. With a surge of adrenaline, Amelia fled the room, the echoes of malevolent whispers chasing her down the dimly lit corridor. She stumbled back into the safety of the oppressive silence, gasping for breath, her heart pounding in her chest. The whispers persisted, a testament to the mansion's ire at her audacity. Undeterred by the encounter, Amelia steeled herself for what lay ahead. She understood that the mansion guarded more secrets, and she was determined to unravel them all. With each step, the weight of the past pressed upon her shoulders, compelling her to uncover the truth buried within the enigmatic shadows. Chapter 3: Dance of Darkness. As Amelia ventured deeper into the heart of the haunted mansion, an air of anticipation clung to her like a shroud. Each step she took reverberated through the desolate corridors, amplifying the chilling silence that enveloped her. Shadows flickered and danced along the decaying walls, casting fleeting glimpses of the secrets that lay dormant within the mansion's bowels. An ornate door beckoned her forward, its cracked surface exuding an inexplicable magnetism. Hesitation mingled with curiosity as Amelia hesitantly reached out, her trembling hand grazing the worn brass handle. The door groaned in protest as it swung open, revealing a chamber steeped in darkness. The room's atmosphere was heavy, suffused with an otherworldly presence that sent a shiver down Amelia's spine. A single candle flickered on a dusty desk, its wavering flame casting grotesque shadows that seemed to writhe and contort with a life of their own. Curiosity mingled with trepidation as Amelia's gaze fell upon a hidden drawer, beckoning her closer. With a trembling hand, she pulled it open, revealing a collection of diaries. The aged pages crackled with the weight of forgotten stories, their secrets yearning to be unraveled. Amelia's eyes scanned the faded ink, her heart pounding with a mixture of dread and fascination. The words painted a haunting portrait of the mansion's former resident, their despair seeping through the brittle pages. But as she immersed herself in the diaries, a shift in the room's energy stirred her senses. Whispers, barely audible yet eerily distinct, caressed her ears like spectral tendrils. The temperature plummeted, icy tendrils snaking their way around Amelia's trembling form. She felt a presence, an ethereal force lingering just beyond the veil of her vision. And then she saw him, a spectre materializing before her eyes. Sebastian Blackwood, his ghostly form emanating a potent mix of elegance and malevolence. His eyes, piercing and intense, bore into her very soul, exposing her deepest fears and vulnerabilities. The room seemed to pulsate with his dark energy, threatening to consume her in its suffocating grip. Amelia's breath caught in her throat as the room transformed, reality warping under the weight of supernatural power. Shadows writhed and contorted, assuming grotesque forms that seemed to mock the fragile fabric of existence. The diaries slipped from her grasp, their descent echoing the impending descent into madness. Trapped in this spectral battleground, fear and determination waged a relentless battle within Amelia's heart. She fought to steady her trembling limbs, drawing upon the reservoirs of strength buried deep within her. With each passing moment, her defiance grew, a flickering flame of resistance in the face of overwhelming darkness. Locked in a silent confrontation with Sebastian, Amelia refused to be ensnared by his malevolence. The room crackled with an electric energy, a maelstrom of conflicting forces. She met his spectral gaze with unwavering determination, her voice trembling yet filled with a resolute defiance. In this macabre dance of wills, the fate of both the trapped souls and her own hung in precarious balance. Every movement held significance, every choice weighed heavily upon Amelia's conscience. She summoned the strength of those who had fallen victim to the mansion's curse, their whispered pleas resonating in her ears. With each step, she ventured deeper into the heart of darkness, her resolve unyielding, for she understood that only by confronting the darkest corners of the human spirit could she hope to emerge triumphant. Chapter 4. Shadows Unleashed. The mansion's atmosphere thickened with an oppressive darkness as Amelia ventured deeper into its forsaken heart. Every step she took echoed with a haunting resonance, amplifying the foreboding nature of her journey. The air seemed to vibrate with unseen malevolence, swirling in the ethereal mist that clung to the decaying walls. Her footsteps faltered, but Amelia's resolve remained unyielding. She knew the room that awaited her held the key to unraveling the secrets that had plagued this accursed place for centuries. With trembling hands, she pushed open the creaking door, granting passage into a realm where nightmares reigned supreme. Before her eyes lay a chamber transformed into a vortex of torment. Twisted symbols adorned the walls, pulsating with an unholy life of their own. The room's ancient floorboards seemed to writhe beneath her feet, as if trying to escape the clutches of their dark confinement. A frigid wind whispered through the room, its chilling touch raising goosebumps on her flesh. Amelia's gaze was drawn to a massive antique mirror that dominated the chamber's center, its once pristine surface now marred with cracks and imperfections, reflecting a distorted reality. She approached cautiously, the weight of the room's malevolence bearing down upon her. As she reached out to touch the glass, a surge of energy coursed through her, causing her very essence to tremble. In an instant, the mirror's reflection transformed, revealing a ghastly visage. Sebastian Blackwood materialized before Amelia, his spectral form flickering with ethereal flames. Hatred radiated from him, seeping into the very fabric of her being. His disembodied voice echoed through the chamber, dripping with venomous malice. "You dare trespass upon my realm, mortal," he hissed, the words searing into Amelia's soul. The sheer intensity of his presence threatened to engulf her, but she stood her ground, her eyes blazing with defiance. With a sudden surge of otherworldly strength, Sebastian lunged toward her, his spectral hands reaching out in a desperate attempt to claim her life force. Amelia's instincts kicked in, guiding her with an uncanny precision. She sidestepped his grasp, narrowly evading his icy touch. In her moment of reprieve, she retrieved a vial from her bag, its contents shimmering with a potent enchantment. This was her only chance, the culmination of her arduous journey. With unwavering determination, Amelia hurled the vial towards Sebastian, the liquid splashing against his incorporeal form. Sebastian convulsed in agony, an inferno of tormented shrieks escaping his spectral lips. His malevolence clashed against the mystical essence of the potion, their opposing forces creating a cataclysmic tempest within the room. The clash of power shattered the fragile equilibrium, sending shockwaves through the very fabric of the mansion. Amidst the chaos, Amelia's voice rose, her incantation cutting through the tumultuous cacophony. Her words echoed with ancient power, channeling the forces of light against the encroaching darkness. The room was bathed in a blinding radiance as her spell reached its crescendo. In that blinding light, the mirror fractured into 1,000 shards, releasing a cascade of ethereal energy. The tormented souls trapped within found freedom at last, their spectral forms dissipating into the unknown. The mansion trembled, its malevolence vanquished, as peace settled over the desolate corridors. Amelia stood amidst the aftermath, her chest heaving with exertion and relief. She had emerged victorious, but she knew her journey was far from over. The mansion still held secrets untold, its walls whispering of forgotten tales. With a steely determination, Amelia steeled herself for what lay ahead, ready to confront the final revelations that awaited her in the darkness. Chapter 5. Into the Abyss. Silence hung heavy in the chamber as Amelia crossed the threshold, the weight of anticipation settling on her shoulders like a shroud. The air crackled with an electric energy, charged with an undeniable sense of finality. She could almost taste the raw power that pulsed through the room, beckoning her to the edge of the abyss. The grand mirror, once a gateway to the souls trapped within, now stood as a menacing monolith, its twisted frame reflecting a distorted reality. Amelia's gaze met her own reflection, but the eyes staring back at her held a darkness that chilled her to the core. It was the visage of Sebastian Blackwood, his malevolence seeping through the looking glass, threatening to consume her. Her pulse quickened, adrenaline surging through her veins as she prepared to face the embodiment of evil itself. She could hear the whispers, a chorus of spectral voices intertwining with the frenetic beating of her heart. The stakes were high. The fate of both the living and the dead hinged on her ability to confront the malevolent force that had plagued the mansion for centuries. With a surge of determination, Amelia stepped forward, her hand outstretched, fingers grazing the cool surface of the mirror. A surge of raw power coursed through her, resonating deep within her core. She summoned every ounce of strength, every fragment of her will, and unleashed it upon the twisted reflection of Sebastian. The mirror shattered with a deafening roar, shards of glass exploding into a dazzling display of light and shadow. A tempest of ethereal energy swirled around Amelia, an otherworldly storm unleashed by the breaking of the mirror's hull. The souls trapped within soared free, their cries of anguish transformed into a symphony of release. As the chamber fell into an eerie calm, Amelia's breath hitched in her chest. She had triumphed over the darkness, banished the malevolent presence that had haunted the mansion for generations. But as she took her final steps away from the shattered mirror, a newfound awareness settled upon her. The experience had changed her. It had left an indelible mark on her soul, a whisper of darkness that would forever linger in the corners of her mind. And as she walked away from the abyss, Amelia knew that the shadows would always be a part of her, a reminder of the fragile line that separates the living from the dead,